Okay. So have you ever heard that, like, saying thoughts become things? It's pretty popular in self-help and all that, but, like,
Yeah.
what if it's actually more than just, like, a nice motto?
Right.
Like, what if our thoughts really do shape
Yeah.
our reality? That's what we're looking at today. We're going to be deep diving into A Course in Miracles. Specifically, we're going to be focusing on Lesson 51 from the workbook for students,
Right.
which is kind of a cool recap of the first 5 lessons. And it really kind of gets to the core of how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, A Course in Miracles is kind of its own thing, right? It's not like your typical self-help book. It's considered a spiritual text by a lot of people, and it has a very unique perspective on how thoughts actually create reality.
So instead of just saying, like, think positive, what's the approach here? What makes this lesson different?
So Lesson 51, it really emphasizes aligning with love instead of fear. So it suggests that our true nature is love, and fear is really just an illusion. It's a product of our ego. And when we choose thoughts that are rooted in love, we actually align with our true selves, and we end up experiencing a different reality.
So when it talks about choosing love over fear, it's not about ignoring, like, real problems or pretending everything is perfect.
It's not about, toxic positivity or anything. It's really about recognizing that fear is often based on these false beliefs, these false perceptions. And it's about choosing thoughts that reflect a more loving and truthful perspective.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The lesson also talks about some specific exercises to help put this into practice.
Yeah.
And one that I thought was really interesting was just the idea of watching our thoughts go by, almost like a mindfulness practice.
Yeah. Lesson 51, it really emphasizes that, shifting our perception is a skill. It's not like a magic wand, It doesn't happen overnight. It takes consistent effort. And it takes practice. And so this thought watching exercise is super helpful for us to become aware of, those unconscious negative thought patterns that are shaping our experience.
Right, like we're training our minds to recognize those fear-based thoughts and then consciously choose something else, something more aligned with love.
Yeah, and the Course gives us very specific tools to do this. Like Lesson 51, it includes affirmations. Like I am safe or I am loved, which can really help us interrupt those negative thought patterns and replace them with something that's more empowering.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of something you said earlier about, like, fear being an illusion. So by repeating those affirmations, like I am safe, we're choosing to believe in, like, a different reality, one where that fear doesn't have power over us.
Absolutely. But by consistently practicing these exercises, we can gradually shift our perception. And we can actually experience a lot more peace and joy in our lives.
Okay, that makes sense. The lesson ends with a really interesting question.
Yeah.
And it says, what thoughts are currently shaping your reality? Like, it's addressing you directly, the listener.
Yeah.
And how can you shift them to align more closely with love and peace?
Yeah, it's a really great invitation for self-reflection,
It is.
It challenges us to become more conscious, more aware of the thoughts that we're choosing, and to actively participate in creating a reality that's reflective of our true nature.
So it seems like even if someone's, like, skeptical about the whole thoughts create reality thing. Like, these exercises could still be super beneficial.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because it's about being more aware and more intentional with our thinking.
Precisely. And that's just, scratching the surface. A Course in Miracles offers a really comprehensive framework for spiritual transformation. It encourages us to question our perceptions and to choose a more loving and peaceful way of being in the world.
That's really cool. So to our listener, if you're interested in this idea of, thoughts shaping reality, I really encourage you to check out A Course in Miracles. Even if you just start with this one lesson and the exercises, it could be really powerful.
It could be really impactful,
Here's something to think about. If our thoughts really do shape the world around us, what kind of world are we creating right now? Collectively, all of us. That's a really interesting thing to consider.
It is.
Yeah. So that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Me too.